I wanted to conduct an experiment. I've bought this old battered wedge for just £20. Went to my local pro shop down at Warrington Golf Club, saw the lads in the shop, said I needed probably the most battered wedge you can get, and I want to buy it. So we've got this wedge here, an SM4 Titleist. It's a 60 degree and it is pretty worn out. The face is all rusted, the grip is probably as shiny as the shaft, and the grooves are starting to wear out there, and overall, like I say, a very, very worn club. So the reason I did this was because golf clubs, as we know now, are starting to get more and more expensive. For the current model of the Titleist SM9, I think it is £150 roughly, so that's close to nearly $200 for my American friends, and that is a lot of money. And as we know as well, a lot of new golfers are coming into the game, and you're probably not wanting to spend close to that $200 mark or that £150 mark on one wedge. So my thoughts were, if I buy it at £20, how does it perform, which we're going to find out shortly. Then if I do a revamp job on it, I'm going to change the grip, I'm going to sort the head out, I'm going to re-groove it. How does that then perform? Because I would imagine after I've re-gripped it, it'll probably come to a sum total of about £28. I'll have a Titleist wedge, yes, albeit from a few years ago, but I'll have a premium wedge that's been used, but will it perform like a new wedge? Just for around about £28. So what I did after buying the wedge, I went down to the practice chipping green at Warrington Golf Club, and I just spent a little bit of time chipping around the green to see what it's actually performed like. So that is my initial little chip there, and around the green, those short shots, I found that it was actually okay. It was spinning pretty decently out of the rough. It felt okay. On those short little ones, it felt okay. The starting point where I was starting to feel there was some issues was when I started going to longer shots. I hit shots from 30 yards and it felt okay. But even when I was around the green, and you probably noticed this maybe, I actually had to put a glove on because of how shiny the grip area was. When I started imparting a little bit of force and a bit of speed into the swing, I felt it starting to get a little bit loose and a little bit slippy in my hands. So when I moved up to 30 and 50 yards, I honestly felt like I was going to let go of it. And interestingly, I actually had one of the members who was just hitting a few chips, one of my friends there, hit a few shots and see how he felt about the club. What's your first thoughts of that?
The grip, of course.
The grip? What's wrong with it?
It's too shiny.
Too shiny?
Yeah.
Oh, easy. Feel okay with that length? Yeah?
All right, yeah.
Then, because the grip had been shiny, what did you feel?
I just felt as though it slipped down.
Fell out your hands almost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's digging in more than anything.
So as soon as you've added speed to it, it's harder to hold on to? Perfect.
Very much so. So,
as you saw there, Pete also found that on those longer shots, 30 yards okay, 50 yards, as you start to get a little bit of speed into it, that grip was becoming the main issue. The spin seemed okay, but this being the main issue. What I want to do now is actually get it on my launch monitor and hit some full shots with it, just to see where the spin number's at, what the distance is at, and even what my club head speed is at, because I bet after I actually change the grip and I do the grooves and I revamp this wedge a little bit, I think all these numbers are going to go up, but we'll have to wait and see for that. I feel like I've got to hold on for dear life there. Go on, get in the hole. Oh. Not bad. Oh, that one. I feel like I'm going to throw it at the screen at some points. Oh, that one let go. That's in the hole, that. Ooh, short. So I've hit 10 shots on my GC2 there. And I was quite surprised the spin number was right where it should be really. It was at 10,266 RPMs. Now my club head speed and my carry distances were down from where I would see my current lob wedge going. Carry distance 76 yards, club head speed at 79 miles per hour. I would normally see it around a 90-yard carry with an 85 mile per hour club head speed. But like I say, I think that was because, as I alluded to, actually hitting some of those slides a bit. My hand's almost hurting because of how hard I'm holding it. I feel like I'm going to throw it at the screen at some points. In transition, when I changed the direction of the golf club, it felt a little bit shaky in the hands. Like I say though, spin rate was good because the strikes were all pretty central. So what I'm going to do now is head up to the golf club. I'm going to get this grip cut off. I'm going to put a brand new one on. Then I'm going to soak the club head in Coke overnight. Little tip for you there, if you want to get rust off your golf clubs, bottle of cheap Coke, put them in, rust goes. Then I'm going to re-groove it. We're going to do the same little test again after I had a little chip around the chipping green to see if it feels any different at all. Then I'm going to get it on the sim and see what happens. Let's go and do that now. So, overnight in the bucket, let's just have a look. Oh, wow, that's actually done okay. I think with a little bit of a, already looking a million times better. That amazing what a bit of Coke will do to it. Look at this now, that and that. So we've got it out of the Coke and we can see it looks almost like a totally different wedge. The back of it especially, the bottom, lost a lot of the rust there. The face as well, lost a lot of rust. Obviously it was black and horrible before. I'm going to use this little re-groover tool here. Just give each groove a little scrape just to get any of the final rust out of there. Then I'm going to hit 10 shots on the GC2 and see how it stacks up from previous before we revamped it. I'll tell you what, straight away in the hands with a new grip on it, it feels like a brand new wedge. Let's see if that distance goes up in the spin. Oh wow, definitely further after shot one. Feels so much better in the hands straight away. Not scared that I'm going to throw the club into the screen just after a simple re-grip. Felt better. Get up. Right, final shot. Straight down the line. Interesting, right? Let's get some final thoughts on this. So that was 10 shots there on the GC2 with the refurbished wedge, and before that I had taken it out to the golf course, and straight away having changed the grip made a big effect. Even just on the little chips around the green, I felt better with it. It felt you know, it felt new in the hands. It felt like I had a lot more control of it. When I then went on to the GC2 to hit those 10 shots, especially in the full swings, adding more speed, it didn't feel out of control. It didn't feel like I was going to let go and throw it into the screen. And subsequently, we saw a gain in club head speed. We saw it jump up by 5 miles an hour, basically because I had hold of it a bit better. That then also led to more carry distance because I was limited on the speed earlier. I saw my carry distance drop, I think it was 76 yards, as where now it's gone up to 89 yards, so 13 yards gain just by actually putting a new grip on it. Also, by actually sharpening the grooves a little bit, we've seen that we've added a little bit more spin on there. Still was in the 10,000 number, but it was right at the top of that 10,000 number, nearly into 11,000 RPMs of spin. So just by adding that new grip to it, sharpening up the grooves and getting rid of the rust on the club face, I've got something that in total, after adding the new grip to it, cost £27 for this wedge in total, and it's performing pretty much like a brand new wedge. So are second-hand cheap wedges and a point of entry for people? Yes, definitely. Do they perform the same? Yeah, I think the only issue that you may find with this is the lifespan of it. If you go and buy a brand new wedge, I would expect that you're probably going to get 6 months, maybe to a year longer than you would do if you were to go and refurbish a wedge. This now, with that, I would imagine, after a few rounds of golf, I'm probably going to have to scrub the rust off it again pretty quickly, and then the grooves will start to wear out because they've already had that wear time on them. So that would only be the negative I would find if you were going to do something like this. But for every beginner golfer out there or people who are on a limited budget, it's definitely a worthy option of getting a cheaper wedge, giving it a little bit of a revamp, and as we can see there, it performs pretty much like a brand new wedge. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed that video. If you have as well, check out the other video I did on some cheap wedges that I got from Amazon. Just click the video down there to watch it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.